Kiichi Tsuchiya drifts using 6 different drift techniques.
サイド。シフトロック。パワーオーバー。ブレーキング。フェイント。アクセルオフ。
In this issue of BMI's special edition, we will focus on the art of drifting performed by the Drift King himself, Kiichi Tsuchiya. We'll go through all 6 basic techniques essential to drifting and further analyze how Tsuchiya is using these techniques from various camera angles. Let us guide you to the world of the Drift King's Drift Bible. First of all, we'll take a look at how a drift machine should be tuned and modified. Looking at this S14 Sylvia with limited modifications to only the suspension area, you can say that drifting is not about power. Going sideways, relying on only brute power, is not what Tsuchiya aims for. So how should a beginner set up his or her machine to drift like the king?
Okay, so what's the least amount of tuning you need to drift? We had lots of stuff done to our car right here, but you don't need to go all crazy to start drifting. First of all, you have to start with the suspension. Then you should also change the brake pads and brake fluid, but that's about it. And if you're lucky enough to be able to spend some more, upgrading the CPU, exhaust system, seats, steering, and shift knob may be a good idea. And as you improve, maybe changing LSDs might be good in the future. Anyway, what I want you all to understand is that you don't need loads of money to enjoy the sport of drifting.
Let's check out the 6 basic techniques that Tsuchiya actually applies to drift. See how Tsuchiya triggers the tail to slide with each move. To make it easier to analyze each drifting procedure at low speeds, we'll use the second hairpin at a Bisu circuit going counterclockwise.
To begin with, I'll show you what I was doing back in the days, long before anyone recognized me. This should be the entry-level technique for all novice drifters. First of all, I cut the spring shorter on my car, and then you go out and turn your car sideways. There's no difficult weight transition involved here. We'll first use the e-brake to go sideways. Then we'll try what's called the shift lock, and then on to the power drift. That doesn't require much skill. I'll show you these 3 techniques. This one's for all beginners. Everyone goes through this stage. I started off doing this too. This drifting relies all on the e-brake. Straightaway, brake, toe, and e-brake. Right there. Just like this. Well, it all starts from something like this. Don't worry about how you exit the corner. Just try to pull the e-brake at the corner entrance and concentrate on making the car go sideways. You brake and then turn the wheel, step on the clutch, and pull the e-brake. Release the e-brake, go into countersteer mode, then wait. Wait until you know that the car is facing the corner exit direction. Then you gently start stepping on the gas. How hard you should step on the gas pedal should depend on how much you're sliding and countersteering. All of this should get you to exit the corner in one piece.
One must learn the timing and the rhythm of the Drift King's drifting procedure and actually feel the exact moment the tail slides in order to master the 6 basic drifting techniques. The length of the tail slide depends on the steering angle, plus how long and how strong the e-brake is being pulled. All maneuvers must be done smoothly and timely, and to do that, having the right driving position becomes crucial. This is a must in order to give a car a quick countersteer and respond to the car's slightest movement. Let's check out how Tsuchiya is controlling the gas pedal from the outside. You can see he's controlling the drift without opening the gas all the way. The timing to pull the e-brake is almost synchronized with when the brakes are let off. The second technique is the shift lock. Notice that Tsuchiya's right foot is not doing the heel and toe move.
Okay, let's now look at the shift lock. I used to do this on snow and wet surfaces. I don't recommend to do this on dry roads, but here we go. Just like that. Kick the gas all the way in third gear. Brake, steer, then boom. You let the clutch go without using heel and toe. The rear will suddenly lock. Then you slide, counter steer from here. Rest is the same as a side brake drift.
The corner entry procedure is the same as the side brake drift. The important point here is when to release the clutch. Tsuchiya lets off the clutch just as he eases off the brake and steers in. His braking only lasts for 2 seconds. It's like brake, brake, gas. The tail slide occurs right as he steers into the corner. This is how the car starts drifting from the corner entrance. In power over drifts, throttle control is the key.
I used to do this when I couldn't drift yet. I'd brake like this and try to drift, but I couldn't because I was too scared. So the only thing I could do was to step on the gas all the way at the corner exit. I used to practice this on the snow as well. When you can't do anything about the strong understeer at the corner entry, you should try this on snow or on a wet surface to practice. Steer into the corner even if you feel the understeer, and at the corner exit, just floor the gas and make your car go sideways, and as you exit, countersteer. This should be the easiest way to drift at the entry level rather than side brake drifting and shift lock drifting. You should practice this on a slippery surface, and remember not to step on the gas until you reach the corner exit point. Because if you give too much gas before this clipping point, you'll end up understeering.
In this case, the corner entry is the same as before, gradually opening up the gas until the clipping point. Then Tsuchiya loosens up the gas for a moment, and then he kicks in the gas pedal to get the tail sliding. Power over drifting needs strong front tire grip. This is the reason why Tsuchiya loosens the gas to make the weight shift to the front.
By this time, you've mastered the entry-level drifting. And if you're in control of the car's weight transition, you can pull your e-brake lightly. Just a tad so that people watching can't even tell you're pulling the e-brake. Then you'll learn how to drift using shift lock and braking. But this entry level is a good starting point for all beginners.
How is the weight transition being done? Let's check out the braking drift.
The three important things here are when to steer in, when to shift down, and how long you keep braking. These are the three most important factors. Okay, I'm in third gear, I'm stepping on it, I'm speeding, then brake. How much you brake is crucial. If you kill the speed too much, you'll end up stopping before you drift like this, and with understeer. So you'll need a fair amount of speed even when you begin braking. Slow down to about 70% on the straightaway, then let go. Let go of the brake and steer into the corner. Here, you're a little overspeeding. If you brake through the corner, you'll end up with understeer. So first brake and then turn, heel and toe and steer in towards the clipping point. You'll be overspeeding here as well. Then you shift down to second gear while leaving your foot on the brake. Let's say you're running around 5,500 revs when you shift down to second gear. Release the clutch like you're running around 5,400 revs, but don't let the gears lock. It's similar to shift lock drifting, but you don't lock the rear tires with braking drift. Anyhow, that's how I do it. Sometimes I drift by only braking, like through corners where I can enter and exit in second gear. I step on the brakes, leave the brakes on, then turn, and I brake once again towards the clipping point. Then the car starts to slide. With this kind of drifting, I concentrate on the front and rear brake balance. If only the front brakes work and the rear don't, it's impossible to brake drift. You can't control the shifting weight of the car if only the front brakes work.
Obviously, braking is the key here. Tsuchiya is not braking hard at all. He's stepping on the brake with a certain rhythm to adjust the speed. If you coordinate the steering work to the braking, you're a step closer to Tsuchiya's braking drift.